I think it's pretty safe to say that the future of the Star Wars franchise seems to be quite expansive, not just with their books, novels, comics, and video games, but also let's not forget about the fact that we also have a handful of new Star Wars TV shows in the works, new Star Wars movies in the form of a trilogy and other spin-offs by Disney and Lucasfilm. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, the one thing about Disney Star Wars is that we do know that it is now reshaping itself to become a more positive franchise that's going to take a completely different direction in comparison to what Kathleen Kennedy was doing, given that she now no longer has any form of creative control except for one Star Wars TV show, and that's it. That, of course, being the Leslie Headland Star Wars TV series. Now, beyond all of this, we do know that Disney and Lucasfilm are really trying their absolute best to really save Star Wars, to really regain the Star Wars fans around the world of those who really left the franchise, such as The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. Now, at the very end of Episode 9, we were introduced to the concept of Rey Skywalker, something that a lot of fans really disagreed on, and it really was, an ending that had a lot of mixed reactions on the world of Tatooine. Now, given that Rey Skywalker is going to be a very prominent figure in the new universe, whether fans are going to like this or not, she is going to be their version of, young Luke Skywalker was in the old expanded universe. They're really going to expand on her character in this post-Episode 9 timeline. Now, the great thing about Jon Favreau is that a lot of changes are being made behind the scenes over at Lucasfilm, and what's really intriguing is that now that the Skywalker saga is over with Kathleen Kennedy having little to no creative control over the new universe, Bob Iger and Chapek are hard at work on developing a great plan to bring back the Star Wars fans who were once upset over the sequel trilogy of movies. Now, it's described that one major plan by Bob Chapek is to reset major aspects of the Star Wars franchise moving forward. Now, it's noted that just recently creator Jon Favreau just made a major reset for the character of Rey Skywalker for the very end of The Rise of Skywalker as a film that is going to be considered a major retcon to the franchise. It's explained that Favreau just placed in a major change to the film that Ben Solo, while reviving Rey, was able to transfer his life force to Rey at will, and that this transition is what causes Rey to have children later in life down the road in the planned Rise of Skywalker timeline. Not just that, but also it's described that Ben Solo traveled into the worlds between worlds when he was thrown into the pit by Palpatine on Exegol and learned this technique while he was able to meet with the Force ghosts of the past. Now, learning this technique allowed Ben Solo to continue the Skywalker bloodline, where Rey's children are conceived at this moment through Ben Solo's new power, and that the scene at the very end of the movie is essentially Ben Solo making the ultimate sacrifice for the bloodline to continue with his spirit becoming one with Rey. Not just that, but also Ben Solo does this all in order to destroy the dark side tendencies and dark side potentials within Rey that are vanquished through Ben Solo's life force exchange, taking over Rey's body in the process. Now, Favreau also plans for Rey's parents to be affiliated with the old Empire, and that Favreau aims to make Rey's father a former apprentice of Palpatine as his own son. Now, very interesting about Rey's parents being reworked under this major retcon of the Star Wars franchise and the universe. Now, Rey's father was something that was a very big, I guess you could say, letdown in Episode 9. We really didn't learn all that much about him, let alone his actual name in the final cut of the film. They went through a lot of different ideas of Rey's father throughout all these different cuts of The Rise of Skywalker, but now, here we are, we got Favreau reworking Rey's parents to make them affiliated with the old Empire. The regular Empire that we know and love from the originals. And how Rey's father was actually once an apprentice of his own father, Palpatine. Now, interesting change-up is the fact that Ben Solo's life force actually conceived Rey's children. Now, in the new universe, Rey is actually said to have a son and a daughter modeled after Jaina Solo and, of course, Cade Skywalker. Modeled after them. They're not going to be the exact characters, but they're going to be inspired by those characters as far as their personality goes and the design of those characters goes as well. So what does this really mean for the future of Star Wars, and what does this mean for how the fans are going to look at The Rise of Skywalker? Well, in a sense, it can really mean that we're going to look at the very ending in a different light. That is not necessarily the end of the Skywalker lineage or the end of the Skywalker bloodline. Perhaps by the movies, yes. However, when we look at everything related to what Disney has done, that's exactly what they want to do. They want to keep the Skywalkers relevant. Kathleen Kennedy, however, herself did not want to keep the Skywalkers relevant, and now that she's no longer on the creative scale, they want to step back and bring that back into fruition here. Which is really good, because considering that Luke, Anakin, Ben Solo, and Leia are really, very popular characters and are the Skywalker bloodline. So with that being said, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.